Welcome to the Collective Experience by the BrwnGrlz Collective, a dynamic platform where we celebrate innovation, creativity, and the power of Black excellence. Each episode, we sit down with change makers, visionary industry leaders, and groundbreaking entrepreneurs across the worlds of fashion, tech, education, business, and more. This is more than just an interview series. It is a space where stories are shared, wisdom is exchanged, and inspiration flows. Together, we are building a community that thrives on collaboration, empowerment, and the drive to uplift one another. So get ready to meet these women redefining industries and shaping the future. This is the Collective Experience, where we take center stage. Mark your calendars for these dope community events. Catch a good Black game night every last Sunday at Lux Life, where games, laughs, and live vibes live. Support Live Soul with Soulful Touch, now seeking sponsors for their next big show. See you there.
Welcome to the Collective Experience, brought to you by the BrwnGrlz Collective, your space for inspiration and connection. I'm your host, Jasmine. Today, we're excited to introduce Chazity Murray, a dedicated professional in the field of applied behavior analysis, ABA, with a strong foundation as a paraprofessional working with children with special needs. Chazity's passion for helping others has driven her to become a registered behavioral technician and earn her board certification in ABA. Her expertise focuses on using systematic techniques and positive reinforcement to teach new skills, reduce harmful behaviors, and increase adaptive functioning, particularly for individuals with autism spectrum disorder and other developmental conditions. Chazity's commitment to improving lives through data-driven and compassionate care is truly inspiring. Let's learn more about her journey and the incredible work she does. All right, so Chazity, how are you today?
I am doing great. How are you?
I'm pretty good. It's early. Early for me anyway. But I'm feeling great. It's a beautiful day. So I'm ready to get to know you and see, and get this thing going. How about you?
Yes, ma'am. I am ready.
All right. So first, just to, get you relaxed. So we'll start with a fun icebreaker game. And then, get the juices flowing a little bit. So let's get this wheel going. Okay. So perfume or body mist? What's your preference?
I would definitely say perfume because I feel as though perfume lasts longer than body mist.
I feel the same way. Definitely perfume. I like body mist, but perfume definitely lasts longer. I like perfume more. Let's get another one going. Okay, so this one says makeup or no makeup. But before we get into that one, because you said you like perfume better, I did want to ask, what's your favorite perfume?
Oh my gosh. I don't even, that is so hard because honestly, I do love perfume better, but I honestly don't use it that much though.
No?
No, I honestly don't even think I've purchased perfume in like over 10 years.
Oh my goodness.
So I don't even know what would be the best brand for me right now. I mean, I love perfume, but
you just haven't been purchasing it. That's okay. But I have a recommendation for you.
What?
Chanel, because I just bought some. I love it. You should definitely try it out. So,
I will.
so the next question was makeup or no makeup?
So, in a professional sense, like I would say makeup. So, whenever I am going to a meeting, I would definitely say makeup. But like on a normal basis, no makeup. Just because it takes a lot of, for me, it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. It
It's
is.
it's a lot of work. So if it's not something where I actually have to, really, meet someone, or I just walk out as is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Same. I mean, I don't. Yeah, I would prefer to wear makeup if I was like going somewhere, like if it was something important, I had something to do, then yeah, I'll wear makeup. But every day, it's a no makeup day for me. I'm gonna just put on some brows or something, me a little lip gloss, and keep it moving. All right, let's get the next question. All right, so we got late nights or early mornings. What's your vibe?
Major love to our sponsors for stepping in to make all of this happen.
IAS Games for family and friend game nights. Out the Barns Entertainment for your video editing needs. Camera Guys Inc. for video photography and your editing needs. Intro music by Sedasia and music provided by Drea.
Your contributions keep us going and help us grow.
Late nights. So I am a mom of 4. I just recently had a baby about 3 months ago, my youngest. So I mean, it seems like both right now. It's late nights and early mornings, but I would prefer to have late nights. I am not a morning person. It's rough.
Same. I am not a morning person. I do not even, I just don't like getting up early in the morning. Late nights for sure. I'll stay up all night. All right. So, and congratulations on your baby, by the way. 3 months. Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
You have a boy or a girl?
So in total, I have 3 boys, 1 girl, but the most recent baby was a boy.
Oh, so cute. They're always so cute when they're that little, right?
Yes.
How old is your oldest?
My oldest is 8 years old, and then I have a 5-year-old, a 4-year-old, and baby.
Oh, okay. All right, so we're just doing like you want to do introspective, which is I don't see it. About.
Yes, just make sure you say,
Okay, but I'm saying, is the question gonna pop up? Or you want me to just ask?
Yes, just say now we're moving to the introspection.
I get that we're moving to the introspection, but when I say that, what do I say after that?
The question which is what's a common misconception?
What's a common misconception about what? Oh, okay. All right, so now we're going to move to the introspection or introspective. So what is a common misconception about you, Chastity?
A common misconception about me in regards to the field that I'm in?
That or just you in general? Whichever one you prefer.
I would say, well, in regards to the field that I'm in, a common misconception is that a lot of people don't realize that I have a I'm very personally devoted to the field that I'm in because My oldest son is actually, he has autism spectrum disorder. So a lot of people may think that I am in this field maybe just for the profit, or maybe just because I love working with children, but I'm actually really in this field due to my son, and me wanting to find ways to help him grow developmentally, well, just find ways to help him grow and to make his life easier and better and make him as independent as possible. Yeah. So that is really the true reason why I'm in this field. And a lot of people don't know that, and they may assume that I joined this field for other reasons.
I think that when, usually when people do feels like that, there is usually there is a deeper reason for why they're doing what they're doing, because that is not a common position to even have, right? So some people, most people who do pick something like what you do, it is because of a family member or a friend or somebody that's very close to them, are in that situation, and they want to learn more so that they are able to help them better. And like you said, help them, do better behaviorally, just in everyday life. Because I'm sure I don't know a whole lot about autism, but I know that, it's not an easy task, especially when you have a child who has autism. So I'm sure that helped you along the way with your son and learning the things and all that stuff. Where is he at on the spectrum, if you don't mind me asking?
Of course. So when he was originally diagnosed around the age of around 3 or 4, he was diagnosed with a moderate level. But now I would say it's more mild. When he first was diagnosed, he was not able to communicate. He was nonverbal, had a very hard time even understanding language. But now he's able to communicate. He's very independent. He cooks for himself. He dresses himself. And so he has grew a lot. So now, he's very social. He loves to socialize, love to be around other children. And when he was younger, those things were not, it was not present. So now he would be considered mild on the spectrum. Level 1.
Okay. So I'm sure you had a lot to do with that, with his growth and stuff like that. So kudos to you, Mom. Thank you. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the questions. So we can learn a little bit more about, your profession and what you do. So this is going to be our passion and identity section. So what inspired you to start your journey, and how does your personal story connect with the work you do today? And I think we kind of covered that a little bit, but if you wanted to get a little bit deeper into that, you can.
Right. We definitely kind of hit on it, but definitely, again, when my son originally around, I want to say 1 or 2 years old, he received a provisional diagnosis of autism. And that was basically saying that they saw signs and symptoms, but they couldn't confirm that he had autism spectrum disorder. And at that time, I just graduated college with my psychology degree, and I was still just trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And so when they gave him that provisional diagnosis, I definitely was like, I want to find every way I can to help him. And so I started off as a paraprofessional, and a paraprofessional was just an individual who worked with children with disabilities. I worked with them in the school system. I was their one-on-one. And when I started off as a paraprofessional, and it wasn't really working with children with autism, it was just working with anyone with any type of developmental disability or special needs. And so when I started working in that field, I realized that it was a field that I really love and that I could grow in. And so from there, I became a registered behavioral technician. And then I just worked my way up to becoming the board certified behavior analyst I am today.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Like we talked about that earlier. So I completely understand why you would want to do something like that. That's important, especially, raising a child with autism. So about your business. So what sets your business or initiative apart, and how does it impact your community or industry?
I would really say what sets me apart is I'm not a large company that, have no type of, how can I say, like, I feel as though I actually have, like we talked about my son, a personal relation to this field, especially with my son being in therapy. He had ABA therapy throughout his life growing up. And one of the things that I felt was missing was that personal empathy, professional being able to relate to us as moms, us as parents, understanding what we were going through. There was a lot of expectations on us, on what we should be doing in the home, how we should be engaging with our children. And I realized I realized they had a very hard time just relating to us. And a lot of his therapists or his supervisors made everything very procedural. And so I feel as though with me having that personal experience with my son, I'm able to relate to families better. I'm able to understand the clinical aspect of the field and also the personal aspect as well. So when it's combined, I can provide that empathy, and I can actually find ways to help them better. So I really feel like that kind of sets me apart from a lot of other ABA companies, because a lot of these companies are made from people who are just, big CEOs who just looking for a profit, who really don't even have no true connection to the field, whereas I do. And so I feel like that's a big, that really sets me apart from other companies.
You have that relatability with you, so you can relate to, your customers, I guess. I don't know if we should call it that, or but the people who come to you, or your clients, you can relate to your clients a little bit better than maybe somebody else who doesn't, have that background. So that makes a lot of sense. So what is your why? What is your why, and what keeps you motivated even when it gets tough?
I would say being on this journey, you build a community. You build a community with other parents, just other individuals. We all have the same goal. We just want to make our children's life better, or whoever, whoever is in our family, or whatever individual we know that needs this help. I would say that community is really my why. I don't think a lot of people understand or see the struggles, the behind the scenes struggles that these parents go through. It can be devastating, having a child and knowing that they had this diagnosis, and knowing the obstacles that they may face later throughout life, or just throughout life period, socially. And so I really do stay in this field for them. Not, of course, for my son too, but really just for the community, because I want to see not just my child, progress. I want to see all these individuals progress. I want to see them become as independent as possible that they can be. That's for them, because it's very individualized. So I would definitely say that they are my why. The other parents that are in my situation, the other families that, just want what's best.
Behind the scenes, there's a lot of hard work that goes into this production, and we couldn't do it without our amazing sponsors, advertisers, and crew.
For their family member and or child. So that's really the reason why I really try to push forward in this field, so we can just see these individuals progress throughout life, because the world is not nice. You know, the world is already hard just for us who are, you know, which, you know, who already have things together. It's already hard for us. So I just want to try to make it easier, you know, as possible for them and their families.
And, you know, I mean, of course, you know, but the autism is new to us, kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like, people just really started talking about it. A lot of people didn't even know what that was. So a lot of times, you know, even, you know, especially like, I know at least my age group, when we were kids, we didn't know anything about autism. You know what I'm saying? We didn't understand what that was, or that there was a spectrum for autism. So there were different types of people who were autistic that we didn't even know about. So those people ended up getting treated differently and stuff like that, you know, not thinking that, you know, that they had a special need. You know, so they, you know, it's important to have that, because there's a lot of new stuff that comes out about it, I'm sure. Yeah, I don't, you know personally about autism, but I know that there's always, they're learning new stuff about it all the time. So it's important, especially to have that in our community. So I do appreciate you for being in that field and helping those families, because I know it can be tough. It can be very tough. So let's get into legacy and impact. Okay. So what do you hope to make in life? And how do you see your legacy inspiring other Black and brown women to pursue their dreams?
Well, how I see my my path inspiring other brown and Black women and just individuals to pursue their dreams, I would say basically just for them to, I mean, from what I experienced, I can see it inspiring them to just basically having them just, no matter what obstacles they face, just to push through it, just to keep moving forward. I would definitely say it has been difficult. You know, there has been a lot of things that I've learned along the way, but there was a quote that I remember at the beginning when I first.
She said something about a quote. You froze, friend. Okay, there it is. You're back. So go to where you said there was a quote.
Okay, so there's a quote, and it says, "Fear, like limitations, are often just an illusion." And so that quote really hit home to me. And so I would say, you know, I would say to other individuals who are wanting to pursue their own paths, that no matter what, you know, hurdles they go through, no matter what limitations it seems that are present to them, there's always another way.
Yeah.
You know, there's always another way to get to where you want to be in life. And so that's definitely the advice that I would push forward.
Amen. I like that advice. That's good advice. That's something that I like to tell people too. You know, you always have your own. Everybody has their own way. Somebody who may have done the same thing as you may have had a different path to get there, but you got, you know, you will find your path to get to where you need to go. You know, possibly doing the same thing or doing something else, but we all got our own paths to go through. So don't stop. Just keep going straight. All right, so we are going, well, before we jump into the next question, only because we are talking about, you know, legacy and impact. So legacy, you do have 4 kids. Is this like a career that you would like to pass on to like one of your kids if this is something that they would be interested in?
Definitely. I would definitely motivate my children. I definitely want them to follow their own path, whatever they are interested in. But I would love for whatever path that they decide to go into, to make sure that they're giving back to the community, that they're helping, helping others. So I would love for, that would be a dream for like my son to be able to give back to his own community and help others, by somehow finding some way within my business, to find his career, so find a career for himself within my business that he can use.
Right.
But yeah, I would definitely try to put, see if my children would be interested in this, and if not, I would still want this to be some type of legacy for my family. I would definitely want it to keep going because it's helping so many different communities. We're not only helping, the population of individuals with autism spectrum disorder, but we're also helping individuals with even hiring people for jobs, hiring Black and brown people, giving them the opportunity to, experience this field and trying to build them up to, have higher positions in this field if that is something that they're interested in, mentoring and things of that nature. So I would definitely, try to push this on my children, just keep it going.
Okay.
In some way, keep it going.
Right.
It matters, and so yeah, definitely.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, that's why that's why I wanted to bring it up, because legacy, especially when you have a business, it is always, important to, like you said, kind of push them. Of course, they're kids and they're people too. So, everybody's going to have their own ideas of what they feel like success may be or what they might want to do in life. But, just giving that little nudge, like, hey, I already got this set up for you. You don't want to try, you know what I'm saying? Come over here. You want to come to work with me? No. But yeah, that's important. All right. So now we're going to pay it forward, right? So paying it forward, what's one piece of advice or wisdom you would share with the next woman stepping into this space? And what's the question? And what's one question you'd love to ask her?
That's a good question. I would say, that this, to be honest, this was a very, hard field to, get involved in. We deal with a lot of people may think that, it can be a little challenging, but it can be very challenging, right? We deal with individuals that can be very aggressive. We deal with individuals who have a lot of maladaptives, high behaviors, and some of it, when you're going through this field, there are times where it can seem very discouraging. So I would definitely tell someone who wanted to, be in this field, just push through. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. It can be very mentally draining. It can be very physically draining, emotionally draining, because a lot of people progress on their own time period. There was a time where, I gave my all to some of my clients, and it seemed as though that they weren't progressing at the rate that I wanted them to. So that was like a very, very emotional aspect of the job for me. So, I would just definitely tell someone, no matter how hard this field seems, if you have that goal or that dream to continue to go higher, just push through it. Everyone progress differently. Everyone is on their own on their own individual path as far as like your clients, and don't take that as a personal indication of your work performance or your work ethic. You just put your all into everything that you do, and just keep going. Just keep pushing through, because you are helping someone at the end of the day, and your effort will show through, and it will be seen.
And do you have a question that you would love to ask her?
I guess I would love to ask, what hurdles have they come across? If they, I would ask them, like, what hurdles have they come across, and what ways have they found to overcome those hurdles? And we're all on our own journey. We all have had our own experience, and what may be easy to me or hard to me may be different for that individual, may be completely opposite for them. So I would love to hear, what hurdles have they personally gone through, or what was like the hardest aspect of this whole experience for them, and how did they get through it?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah. Because then also you'd be able to see like where their mind is at, you know what I'm saying? And how far they've come in their journey to, in this field. So that's a really good question. I like that question. It'll make them think. I like it. All right. So we're going to wrap this thing on up, Chazity. We're so grateful for your time and for the light you bring to the community and, with your business. To everyone watching, thank you for being a part of the BrwnGrlz Collective experience. See you soon, Brown Girls.
Thank you guys so much just for interviewing me, and thank you so much just for what you guys do for the community too. Highlighting our hard work and our journeys and our personal experiences. So, I just want to thank you guys as well.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Just thank you for the time. And, I know you're a busy lady, so we appreciate you for real. Thank you to our advertisers, sponsors, and everyone who made it possible. And of course, thank you for tuning in and being part of the BrwnGrlz family. See you next time.
Oh, girl, I love you just like Mary Jane. I give you everything. Damn, I hope you feel the same. Come and make it better, just like Mary Jane. Oh, girl, I can't complain. I need your touch, can't get enough. Come and beat me up, it's just like Mary Jane. From the middle of the club, you say you running low again. Won't let me fill your cup. I got some papers in my section and some fonts in the tuck. She been calling me Split Daddy, baby. Please don't gas me up. You can keep your mask. I don't want time with that. Tryna know your heart by the time we start, baby. Ain't no hiding facts. Maybe if you with it, we can start a tab. Break down them walls, you can let me in. I can be your quarterback. Come on, put our tape right on the map. Oh, girl, I love you just like Mary Jane.